we all like stop thinking like consumers. But I ask this to every gym owner who bitches about something on a client acquisition side, whatever it is. I say, great, pause. What personal subscription, personal, not business, personal subscription do you have that is equal to what you charge? That is a recurring subscription. He's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, this isn't rocket science. I'm asking you, your gym costs $200 a month. What the fuck do you pay for on recurring subscription for a personal service that you go to, brick and mortar, that's $200 a month? They're like, I don't have one. I'm like, then this is not a wild thing to say. You have no concept of of who your customer is. Personally, you don't, because you don't experience it.
You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at LASSO do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks.
All right, guys, here we go. Another episode of Gym Marketing Made Simple. Have Blake here, Josh is here with me, and today our guest is Stu. He doesn't even need a last name at this point. It's Stu. Everyone knows Stu. Stu, man, thanks for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yep, definitely. So, Stu, let's jump right into it. I want to jump into, you've been in the industry for so long. And what do you see sort of happening in the industry right now? Because we see a shrinkage in the industry, which I think is a good thing.
Define shrinkage.
Well, there's just less affiliates. And I'm talking about sort of
CrossFit,
the micro gym, CrossFit. Yes. There's a shrinkage. And I believe that piece of that is now you have to really want to own a gym to stay in it and be very profitable. Unlike, the early days, we could just slap Dynasty CrossFit on my garage and then people are going to show up and say, what is this CrossFit? But now there's a real competition out there. And
yeah.
So like, what are you seeing with the industry?
I mean, I think we all forget that like our market's no different than any others. Like back in the day, your dad drank Budweiser and bitched about his job and his life, and that's all he drank. And now there was craft brewery, and craft brewery, that market swelled, and then there's consolidation. It's an accordion. Every single vertical, every market does this. So there was a swell of the open gym market in the 80s and 90s, the Gold's Gym, World's Gym of the world, those kind of things, Bally's Fitness. I'm dating myself at 40 years old now. And then there was a consolidation of that, and out of that came CrossFit. Less than 10 years later came Orange Theory, F45 in the boutique scene. And there was a swell, and then there'll be a consolidation. And I think whenever you have a consolidation of that one slice of the industry, which right now would be group fitness. Now, here's the other thing too, though, we're seeing maybe a consolidation of like the CrossFit barbell group strength and conditioning HIIT studio type thing. And I would say that across even the franchises, the Orange Theories, the MADs, the CrossFits, all of them maybe are experiencing that. Don't tell me that about Pilates. I have more fucking Pilates clients on the commercial real estate side, and it's because right now is the heyday for Pilates. Solid Core paved the way for that. And so now, I mean, that's a huge swell, and it will consolidate. Right. And it'll do what everything does. The open gym model is coming back. It's just coming back in a more targeted niche and better, square footage overhead type scenario than the 30,000 square foot boxes, that our dads went to and that we all probably went to in high school and stuff like that were popular. So, yeah, I mean, I think in group fitness, you're seeing that, but I mean, anything that's craft beer was like, for example, like, I don't know how many breweries you guys had. Charlotte at one time had like 40 craft breweries in the city limits, 40. We have like 25 now, right? We had 30 CrossFits when I was a CrossFit gym. We have 6. It's just an accordion.
Yeah.
There never was meant to be 30. That's the thing. It's like when it's like, oh my God, CrossFit's growing. It's like, no, you just have a bunch of retards that also got to play the game. That's not a slam on anyone. That's how business is. When something pops, everybody thinks they could do it because it's fresh and new, and they don't realize that this is early innings. It's like, it's beginner gains.
Yeah.
The guys that stick around for a decade, like that story, when that's told, 90% of you won't be here. And that's every industry ever.
Yeah. Huh. No, no, that's good. That's good. Um, I think that, I want to jump in. I want to talk about a little bit what we do. I would love to have you on some of our calls. I mean, for like Lasso in general, right? Like you got on and you were sort of telling Blake how things were going because we help you out a little bit on the back end. But man, we work with gyms, particularly micro gyms. And Stu, like we'll have gyms that they'll have an all-time high revenue for months on end. They'll come to us and say, guys, like I don't know if this is working anymore, or I'm gonna try to do this on my own. And for me, I'm just like we're always blown away. But again, like you're saying, it's sort of just the way the land goes. But
You guys, the problem I feel bad for you guys, and I'll just say this for anyone listening, you guys we've been colleagues and professional friends, all that stuff for a while. I called these guys the second I needed some ad help, for the gym real estate side, and Blake was incredibly gracious with his time, and we got on a call, and the information was incredibly valuable. But I think I mentioned to Blake on that call, I couldn't do what you guys do, and because what you guys need to do, it's not only like people are they're very itchy for a result, right? They normally probably get to you like after they're already had months and months of like bad leads or whatever the fuck it is. And they get to you guys and they want a result now. And they don't realize like this thing takes time. And I also I've made podcasts and I still tell everyone, if your ad agency lays a goose egg fucking 4 months out of the year, that's a great fucking ad agency. If you had 4 months where it just didn't fucking work out, do you know that's completely normalized and standard? But like someone gets like 1 bad month and they freak. I think time horizons for people who haven't been in the game a while are also another thing. When a client's like, hey man, last couple of weeks I've had some bad, we had a lot of cancellations. I'm like, that's fun. Shut the fuck up. A couple weeks. We don't talk about a couple weeks. The minimum amount of time we talk about is 1 quarter. If something happens good or bad for 1 month, I don't care. If something good or bad happens for 2 months in a row, I'm interested, but I still don't give it the time of day. I don't make changes yet. If something good or bad happens for 3 months in a row, I now investigate it, good or bad. If it's good, let's replicate. If it's bad, let's make sure it doesn't happen again. But I'm sure you guys deal with it. Someone has 5 days of shit leads or no leads or whatever it is. And they're like, oh my God. It's like, bro, it's been 17 seconds.
Yeah. I think a big thing a lot of gym owners forget is just like, the last month was like spring break, right? And so like 1 week, I'm like, do you have kids? And they're like, yeah. Are you going to spring break? Yeah. So what are you doing the week before? Oh, I'm prepping for it. What are you doing the week of? You're going on spring break. What do you do the week after? Try to get back in a rhythm of things. Why? You know what's
not on that list? Try a trial at a gym. It's not on that list.
So why do you think that all of a sudden March is going to be amazing when it's never been amazing? It's just, and they don't put you have to act like you're a human and put yourself in their shoes, and then it all makes sense. But they're like, no, I can't do that because that's different. I'm running ads and they should all just come in this month. And you're like, no, that's just not the way the world works. Just like it's not the way the world works when you click on an ad and just submit your information. You probably do more research. And they're like, well, I want to know where everyone comes from. And I was like, when's the last time you walked into a restaurant and said, I saw your ad and this is why I'm sitting down? I'm like, that's the dumbest analogy ever. Nobody's going to tell you because they don't care about your marketing dollars.
That restaurant example is fucking, so I'm literally having drinks with a colleague here in Charlotte who he'd worked different industry, but he's part of a gym now. And anyway, he was complaining about the pre-sell that happened for his gym and how they didn't have a lot of people during pre-sell and even during their grand opening weeks. He was bitching like nobody's blah, blah, blah. And we got off topic. And then I said, oh, hey, did you check out the new Mexican restaurant? He goes, oh no, man, I never go to a new restaurant for at least 60 days after they open because I know they got to work all the kinks out. And I was like, do you not hear yourself, you hypocritical fuckface? Do you not hear yourself as a consumer, what you just said?
Exactly.
Just translate that over to another good. It's crazy that we all stop thinking like consumers. But I ask this to every gym owner who bitches about something on a client acquisition side, whatever it is. I say, great, pause. What personal subscription, personal, not business, personal subscription do you have that is equal to what you charge? That is a recurring subscription. He's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, this isn't rocket science. I'm asking you, your gym costs $200 a month. What the fuck do you pay for on recurring subscription for a personal service that you go to, brick and mortar, that's $200 a month? They're like, I don't have one. I'm like, then this is not a wild thing to say. You have no concept of of who your customer is personally. You don't, because you don't experience it. I remember the first time someone told me that. I went and hired Kyle Ruth, who worked at Training Think Tank at the time. He was an online programming coach, but he owned the gym north of me in Charlotte. And I paid him $275 a month for individual program design back in the day, because I wanted to feel what $275 coming out of my checking account every single month for an in-person service felt like. Because I wanted to relate to my customer, because that was more than I was charging for my gym. So it just, the frame of reference and like the perspective, I think people just really need to fucking look in the mirror and just realize they're making expectations of a consumer that themselves as a consumer wouldn't even meet.
And Stu, I think you can talk well on this, because I see all the images and videos of the transformations from before to after for the gym real estate guys that you work with. I think a big thing I see right now, it doesn't matter what kind of, and I'm just going ads, but I'll go to organic as well, is we can put a most amazing ad, and then you go to your social media and it looks like, oh, how could you ever charge $200, right? Compared to the yard and all the people you're working with, right? Can you just talk about like, hey, gym owners that are like, hey, think they're going to charge $200 compared to like these elite franchises that are coming in that look dope and look amazing? They're like, hey, and the other thing, every gym owner, hey, I want to go after highly qualified, only making $100,000 more. Do you think they're going to walk into your gym when it looks like garbage compared to this place? Like, what are you seeing? Like, what in 2026, what does your gym have to look like and feel like to be able to be premium like everybody else?
Yeah, I agree. And I believe the ability for the ads to do well is the basis of it. You got to have a decent organic game. Like, you're organically, and I mean beyond just having the lights on. So like the first stage is like a gym owner who doesn't even have the lights on their Instagram, right? Like, shit hasn't been posted in weeks. And the ones that have, it's like some dog shit iPhone photo that says like Carpe Diem, seize the day, is the caption. It's just like people are blurry. It's just like the 6 a.m. crew getting lit or whatever the fuck they say. Like I sit down, I'm like, hey, listen, first off, even if ads do well, that puts people into, there's 3 phases of the buying cycle, everybody, right? We all know awareness, consideration, and purchase. They become aware of you via these ads. And if once they become aware, they've seen that enough times and they want to consider you, that means they'll do some self due diligence and research. They'll likely go to your social media. When they go there, no matter how good that ad is, if what they see doesn't answer essentially these 4 things, what kind of people train there? What kind of workouts do you do? What is that coach relationship like if it's a group fitness thing? And then lastly, what's the lifestyle that going here like is a part of? It's the Red Bull and GoPro kind of thing, right? Like Red Bull and GoPro don't show the product. They show the lifestyle of the people who use the product. So, right, I tell gym owners, like, every 4th image should not be of the gym, should not be of a class, should not be of a coach pushing the knees out because the knee was caving in on a squat. It should be like who your core customer is out in the wild. If it's them dancing at a club because you got young somethings, great. If it's mom and dad's like cheering on the kid in the stands at the baseball game, but dad's wearing a nice polo, he looks fit, he looks in shape, mom's looking good, awesome. If it's 55 plus, I don't care who it is, you got to get lifestyle photos. But that's hard. Yeah, I know, fucker. It requires you to actually do a photo shoot and do something outside the gym besides grabbing your phone and chasing people around while you should be coaching. Right? Like, it does require that. So you're like, I think organically, you've got to tell those 4 aspects that I just laid out. And it does. It has to look a certain way. Everyone judges us digitally, right? What's that phrase? What's song? It must be your ass because it ain't her face, right? Like, that's like one of my favorite lines. When you walk into a bar, you might if you looked at someone and they were a 4, even if their personality and sense of humor was a 10, you're not fucking with that. Okay? Now, we've all know gyms that look insanely awesome on the outside. They're a 10 at the bar, but then you sit down and talk to them, and you're like, I got to get out of this conversation. This person's a 4 personality-wise. Sense you have to at least look the part digitally, because that's where we're judging each other visually first. They are not going to be the first sale we all have to make is lead the prospect, meaning from phone number, from contact information to walking in the fucking door. The way that happens easier is if you can at least create a narrative in a fucking, you probably have 9 images on that front grid that makes you look put together. What kind of workouts do we do? Well, what kind of people work out here? Coach to athlete relationship, and then lifestyle photos outside of that. If you can do that well done, I believe it'll make the ads perform better, because I know you guys have probably run ads for clients in which you're like, we will, but I'm not going to lie, your website looks like a dumpster fire and your social media is absolutely just a coat hanger abortion, and it needs to be completely reimagined. Like, someone has to fix this first. And no matter, it's like, again, you could go out and buy a $900 suit, pick up an awesome chick from the bar, but she comes home to your apartment and your apartment looks like you're still 20 fucking living in college, and you got, it's like, it's not going to work. And that's, I don't know. That's how I think about it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's a big thing. Our most successful gyms, you go from the ad, and if you're going after the quality or, the high income earner, they're going to do their research. And if they go to your Instagram, you're like, all right, this place looks like a place I want to go to. It looks like people that look like me, looks like they can solve my problem. Now I'm going to go to the website. Does the website align with the Instagram? Does it align with the Facebook? Great. It's easy to navigate. Awesome. Opt in. And those all have to work together, because with AI and everything, there's just so much content that you have to level up above everybody else and be a little different. And you have to tell a great story through your social media. Because no matter the story we tell, it doesn't matter if it falls flat everywhere else, nothing works.
If any of your audience takes something away from this, your social media solely exists for prospective members to learn about you. It is not meant to have inside jokes with your current members. Like, when I go and do a social media audit on someone, and I'll pull up a photo, and the copy is like, check out Tina after, Holden, or some, like, I don't know, some CrossFit name to work out. Oh my God, she won't work. She's not going to walk great for a week. Well, nobody knows what a Holden is. Nobody knows who Tina is, except that her legs really hurt and she can't walk well. Like, these are inside things. I'm good with you referencing your lexicon. So let's say it's like you want to talk about this workout called Holden or whatever. That's cool. And then explain what that is, why it was named after that person. Talk about Tina. Allow me to relate to her. Tina, who's actually a single mom of 2 kids, and she's a full-time nurse, finds, every morning at 6:30 a.m., she has a selfish hour for herself so she can be the best mom and nurse possible. If you can relate to Tina, you're busy as hell, you're giving to other people all day, and you want to give back to yourself, please send us a DM or head over to the website. We'd love to talk to you, right? Like, give some context to it. Don't have inside jokes on your social media. It's not for inside. Fuck your members. It's not who social media is for. It's for prospective members to learn about you.
It's funny you say that, because again, there'll be gyms, nothing wrong with this. There'll be gyms coming to us, Stu. Just say they're doing 20 grand a month. Okay, they're doing 20 grand a month. It's fine. And we'll say, hey guys, we have this whole system set up. We have copy for you. We have photos. We know what works. Let us just sort of plug this into place so you can get leads in, so you can have an opportunity to try to sell them. Doesn't fail many times. We'll start running the ads, and they'll be like, well, my member Stu came in and wants to know, why do we have pictures of people that don't go to our gym in our ads? Can we change those pictures out? I'm just like, man, listen, like, you're only doing
what prospect fucking knows that? Who's asking that question? Like, hey man, I did a quick audit in the fucking 30 minutes I've been here, and I've noticed that none of these people in this class are part of your ads, right? Like, that I know you guys get that. Like, oh, I want my members in it. That part doesn't matter as much. Now, I will say, if whatever imagery you're using doesn't match up with your core customer, there's things to be said there, right? But
correct, I agree with that.
Yeah,
we'll agree with that.
Yeah, but yeah, that is that's wild and silly, and it's just I'll be honest, I generally tell people when they start working with any marketing agency, I say, listen, in the beginning, when they're calibrating your ads and dialing things in, and that takes a while, I am totally good with you getting fucking 100 dog shit leads. And they'll be like, why? And if it's because you suck at sales, you're not good. And I'll be honest with you, you need to go to the batting cages. All right. None of those balls. This isn't a real game. You're not hitting home runs, but you got to get comfortable saying certain things, asking buying questions, staying in control of the conversation, working the CRM. You need practice. You do not right now. I'll be honest. Like I've told this straight up to a client. I'm like, I'm going to be dead set. I don't want you to get good leads yet because you fucking suck on the CRM. I know how long it takes for you to respond to a message. And I know what that is. Someone, they get the automatic, hey, thanks for checking out or whatever. And the first thing is like, so when do you want to come in? Like you're trying to fuck on the first date? Fucking take a second, look them up on LinkedIn, look up on Instagram, figure out who you're talking to, right? Hey, listen, hey, saw you on the website, you filled out the thing, blah, blah. How can we help? Just thinking about checking out the gym. Awesome. Do you currently work out? Like there's a bunch of really good questions. Are you currently working out? If so, where? Well, if you're working out somewhere else, what's got you looking to cheat on them? Again, people don't flirt enough. I don't mean in a sexual way. I mean like in a fun, jovial way in sales. Like sales is meant to be a little flirty. It's meant to be just a little pokey. Like I used to do that all the time. Like, I currently go to Orange Theory. I'm like, do they know you're thinking of cheating on them and coming over here? Like, is this okay? Like I just play with it. And you just get into this conversation. Well, I'm not really loving it over there because of this, this, and this. That's a great piece of information I now have that I otherwise wouldn't if I would have been like, well, awesome, click this link and schedule. Like that's the thing. I'm good with people getting shit leads in the beginning while you guys figure out and dial it in because most of them need practice.
Well, that's one of the big things. Like when we started LASSO, it's this thing was, hey, Sherman, you're gonna be the salesperson. Blake's gonna do the marketing thing. Lead and sales system optimization. We figured out quickly, no one cares about the sales side. Hey, turn on my marketing ads. I want leads, and I'll deal with the sales piece. But we figured out that most owners are absolutely atrocious at sales. Even to this day, one of our big struggles internally is we can't get people to consistently show up to the free sales training that we give them because like that's not the sexy piece of it, that's not the fun part. Like we have these gyms struggling to sign people up, and they're not even sending anyone from their gym to the sales meetings. And I'm just like, guys, like that's step one, right? Like we're gonna continue to get you leads, and you're gonna continue to say, oh, this isn't working, or oh, this person wasn't a good fit. Well, I mean, they possibly were a good fit, but the fact that you talked about, the holding workout you were doing today, that means absolutely nothing to them. They want to know how can you help them lose 15 pounds over the first 2 months. We see it time and time again, man.
I believe there should be I now on the business consulting side, I have minimums. Like you have to be doing a certain amount of revenue and things like that. But I also have like when I'm consulting with someone, I've got deliverables that I need to deliver on, but I also have deliverables for the owner as well. He's got to do. And if things aren't being done, I will fire you as a client in a heartbeat. And I get it. Like, and I'll give, I give grace and okay, it's taking you 2 weeks to get that done. But if I think it's just laziness, you're not doing it. I can't fix your problem if you're not willing to put in this amount of work. And I have no interest. I only like solving problems. But if I don't have a good counterpart to help me solve the problem, I'm no longer interested. And, we just go our separate ways. No big deal. But that's, fuck. It's like, I'm for you guys, I'm sure you're like, hey, we have like being able to score people based on their CRM. You got to have a certain CRM kind of score of actually being able to respond to these people and doing quality, CRMing, lead nurture. And if you don't, then we're not liable for shit results.
Yeah, that entire lead nurture thing is funny to me. Just in the in the micro gym industry, just in general, they'll be like, well, I followed up twice and they didn't respond, so I just know they're not interested. I'm just like, guys.
I've got a question. This is a percentage I use. I want to know if this is accurate. I tell my clients what the number I've always ran off of. I said, listen, if you're doing cold traffic acquisition, if you convert 30% of that, that's pretty good into a prospect to come into the door. That's really good if you're at 30%. And once they're in the door, that's probably, 50 to 60, maybe 50% closing percentage, 60%, somewhere around there. If it's warm, I expect that to be like, way closer to like 50 and 70 or 60 and 80, somewhere in that ballpark there, right? On from prospect in there, lead into the door and then prospect the customer. Does that sound right? Am I right on those numbers?
Yeah, yeah. But Josh, what do we tell them? Like, what do we tell them from the top of the funnel all the way down? Like, what do we?
Yeah, the metric that we've always found is kind of like our standard is like 40, 60, 80. So percentage of leads that book is 40%, percentage of those that show is 60, and then percentage of those that you close is 80. And inevitably, if there's an issue going on in one of those funnels, they never want to address that. They want to go right to the leads, right? Like the ad's wrong, the picture's wrong, you said the wrong word here, you didn't do this right there. Instead of like, or to your point, Stu, like you just don't know how to sell. You think that you've been good at sales because it's always been referrals up to this point. And cold traffic is a much different game than warm traffic and referrals. I mean, you have to actively, I used to tell people this all the time, you have to actively try not to sign somebody up that's a referral. Like that's how bad you have to be.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things these days is people forget when people opt in, and it doesn't matter what it is, it could be lawn care or anything else, they're checking out 4 to 5 different places. And if you're not responding within 5 to 10 minutes, it wasn't that they were a bad lead. You did a bad job on your sales side. And so that 40%, yeah, they're going to be crap leads sometimes. People are going to joke around and opt in. But at the end of the day, they're looking for a solution. Just like if I opt in for 5 lawn care services, just because I pick one, the other 4 thinks I'm a bad lead. No, that's not the case. You just didn't do a good as job as the other one.
And it's also, I tell people, like, again, put yourself in the consumer role. Like, I reached out to a guitar shop in Raleigh, North Carolina, about 2 hours away from me, about this one guitar 3 months ago. The sales guy continuously follows up, continuously with me. And I don't respond to his text 70% of the time. Every now and then I'll throw him a thing and be like, yeah, man, I'm when I get down there, I'll come in, whatever, but he stays on it. Am I a bad lead? Maybe, or there's 86,400 seconds in the day and I'm fucking busy. This is a thing I emotionally want, but practically and rationally, it hasn't worked out for me to go do it yet. And that is the reality. I tell everyone, like, it's that boyfriend girlfriend analogy. And it just essentially, it's like, if you had a chick that you really, really liked and she had a boyfriend, you would still be friendly. You'd still be, happy birthday. You saw the two of them. You're cordial. You're not a dick, whatever. But like your presence is there. That way, if that relationship doesn't work out, you now have an opportunity. The people that don't respond, again, I know you guys hear this. I called someone and they're like, how did you get this number? I didn't sign up for that thing. Like there are those people, but there are other people that did opt in and they just like, yeah, I'm interested, but it's like here on my list of priorities. Right? It could eventually make its way up and there's jumps. It was here on the priorities. And then my boyfriend dumped me and started dating this chick who's she's a 10. And now it jumped to this top of the priorities. Or my friends and me signed up for a High Rocks and I don't want to embarrass myself. It jumped to the top of the priorities. You never know. That's why you just have to make sure to keep on them nice and consistently. Don't overdo it. But that way, if and when it rises in their priority. I mean, all of us right now, there's fucking probably 20 things all of us has thought about buying or signing up for or thinking about doing. Like, I've got buddies that have been trying to get me to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu classes for 3 years, right? Like I'm like, maybe I'd give it a try, but like, I'm sure the 3 Brazilian jiu-jitsu studios that like I put in a thing for think I'm a shit lead. And I might be, or I'm just a human that has 20 other things going on. I don't believe in like shit leads. I just believe in like, it's a lead. You ask for, you want names, emails, and phone numbers. That's what they're providing you. The interest is here. Interest is different than lead. Just because they're a lead doesn't mean they have the active interest at the time and enough interest to make a buying decision, which we all know is made emotionally, not rationally.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Let's let's talk about the event a little bit. Or before that, actually, Stu. So I know you're big in sort of the real estate piece now. How are you helping gym owners specifically with real estate? 'Cause that's one of the things I wish I would have gotten into when I was a gym owner, but no one's really talking about it way back then.
Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to I used the cash flow of my gym. I saved up. I used the cash flow to leverage SBA loan, purchase commercial real estate, and that allowed me to quote unquote retire from owning a gym. And I lease out that building now entirely. And I just sit back and collect a mailbox check for more money than I could have ever made in the best version of my gym monthly. right?
Yep.
So with all that being said, I had that and I started consulting officially in like early 2014. I was constantly reviewing leases and like advising clients on sites, their location. Should they renew or relocate? If they relocate, where should they be looking? And then as time went on, I asked myself a question. I've got a successful business consulting company. How do I get current clients to make me more money without them paying me more money? It's a very unique business problem to solve. And then I realized I could spend a few years and open up a brokerage firm. And so we spent about 3 years doing it. And we are the only nationwide, we just don't do Hawaii and Alaska, commercial real estate firm that solely focuses on the fitness industry, gyms specifically, of any variety. And so we help gym owners lease and buy buildings anywhere in the country and at no cost to them. They don't have to pay us a thing. We will do the market research. We will find the sites. We will negotiate the best lease deal, and then they get to bring it to life. Their landlord will compensate us as per commercial real estate. That's how that works. They pay us just like if you sold a home, the seller would compensate the buyer's, residential agent, right?
Yep.
But yeah, so that's essentially what we do. We work with big franchises and we do rollouts into new markets. Metabolic, AlphaFit, Industrious, Engage, those kind of guys. And then we also work with a ton of independent gyms going from 1 to 2 or 4 to 5 or open gym models that are, it's a lot of concepts. So if they have a business idea and they want to get real estate for it, we'll work with them as well.
Okay. Good. I like that because I don't think enough people really look at that side of it. This gymming is tough, but gymming gets a little bit better. Like my gym was successful, but man, had I owned the building, it would have been a little bit better for me, especially when I exited.
Owning the building, I tell everyone, like, don't shoot for that first. Like, lease a building first and do well business-wise before you try. I got guys like, I want to start a business, I want to start a gym, and I want to buy the building. I'm like, don't do that. Like, lease it first. Like, no one's going to give you a fucking loan on a concept.
Correct.
Right? It's not likely. And then, there's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that goes on if you use a local broker. And again, I'm not the shit on the local broker, but there's just things that they will not do for you and legally can't do for you that I can. And in the services of what we offer. And it just, it's not really until you shine a flashlight at it, because no one talks. I mean, like you guys, we've all been around the gym content game. Commercial real estate is not a fun topic to talk about. It's kind of like guys, it's like John Briggs at like Insight Tax talking about being a CPA, right? Like it's not always super sexy except for tax time.
Correct.
Right? Like now it's interesting. Correct. So talking about leasing and shit like that isn't always, but more so, trying to educate people on, hey, listen, even if you're using someone local, make sure these things are happening, because behind the scenes, there's a whole world of shit that is happening that you might not understand that is really fucking you.
Yeah. When's the ideal time for somebody to come see you, Stu? Like,
within 12 months.
12 months of their lease ending?
Yeah, their lease ending, or when they would like to have a location established, have a lease signed within 12 months. Our average time to lease is like 6 months ballpark. If it's a high inventory market, I can get it done in probably less than 6. If it's a low inventory market, it might take closer to 9. So if like you're in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, that's going to be a more difficult thing. Because people don't realize like finding the site, like it's not like you find one site and that's done, right? Like you got to try multiple ones, and then we got to do LOI negotiation. Those are, a very lengthy document that I create that negotiates all the big business deal terms of a lease. That is a 4-week back and forth process typically, because I prepare an LOI with all the terms that my client has, I propose them and they like, and then I kick it over to the landlord side. And it takes the landlord 7 to 10 days to respond. And my clients go nuts. Like we have to prep people. Like nobody has the same sense of urgency as we do on our side. You're going to become so frustrated as to why it takes so long for lawyers and listing agents and landlords to respond. It's just because it's the haves and the have-nots. Unfortunately,
they got the leverage.
Supply and demand is not in the tenant's favor. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. So the ideal person for you is not the guy who's like, because we've all had this happen, but where it's like, all right, in 2 months, my lease is up. It's like, brother, you already lost that negotiation. Like,
yeah, no, again, we have that person call and I'll say, listen, bro, like, are you allowed to go month to month? Because if not, I mean, like, we can't get a deal done. Because it may be 4 weeks for LOI negotiation, but then lease negotiation Once the lawyers are involved, that's 4+ weeks too. And I've had people like, mine didn't take that long. I'm like, yeah, but you also have a fucked lease. Like, you rushed through it. You didn't know what you're looking at. You just agreed to whatever they were good with. I'm like, yeah, I mean, to do it properly, like when I got to get behind the curtain of like, how does Orange Theory do it? How does Metabolic do it? How does Alpha Fit Club do it? Like, these are big fucking brands. And then just bring that same level of sophistication and bring it to the independent gym owner, because otherwise they don't get that, like, you don't get the same level of love and representation from commercial real estate firms if you're a one of one, right? You're Susan in a Pilates studio. And, you know, if you're a Metabolic and you're going to open up X amount of locations every year, you get a lot more love. But, you know, even with those guys, they've previously worked with national firms. And now, you know, I'm proud that we're doing all their commercial real estate stuff. You know, I'm honored to be a partner with them on that and other brands. But yeah, it's also, my personality is a lot more because I am who I am and I'm not local. If you're a local broker, you have to play a local game, meaning, well, that gym owner is going to make you a commission check one time, but the landlord in which you're competing against and negotiating against likely has multiple properties or multiple suites. You are going to run into that person again, or his listing agent. So local brokers actively have to work to maintain a good relationship with those they're negotiating with while still having fiduciary duty to their client. And generally what you'll find out in behind the scenes conversations, they don't hard negotiate enough for their client. They leave a lot on the table, because a broker who's a tenant rep, like, I want to be a tenant rep. I want to be a buyer's rep. The average commercial real estate agent wants to be a listing agent for the landlord. That's the dream job. For the landlord to hire you for his shopping plaza has 20 suites, and you sit back and wait for the LOIs to come in, and you just got to make sure the tenant mix is right. Nope, my job is tough. I've got to hunt. I've got to hunt down buildings. I've got to, we've got to look for buildings that are off market, all that shit. Nobody wants my job. But I also don't care if I get invited to the social hour, in fucking Cincinnati, Ohio by the other brokers. I'm not trying to be your fucking friend. I'm not coming here I don't want to go to your kid's birthday party. I don't want to go golfing with the other brokers on Saturday. I want to get the best fucking deal. I'll be a professional about it. But in doing this now since 2021, people after is like, bro, you're playing a different game. And I'm like, I'm not, it's because I'm not natively a commercial real estate guy. That's not my thing. I came into this, so I do things differently. They're like, we've never had anyone put a deal together like that. And I'm like, well, I'm just thinking not like you guys that have went through commercial real estate school and you have this is the way it gets done. And I'm like, well, why don't we just do it like this? Well, I don't know. We've just never done it that way. I'm like, it fucking makes sense. Like, you're right. Like, it's just interesting coming into an industry that I'm not natively and organically from.
It's interesting, man, to hear you say it like that. It reminds me of the gym owner who opened a gym to run a business and run it like a business versus I drank the Kool-Aid. I want to do this really cool thing because it's fun and I need a place to work out. Like, you're playing two different games.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Oh, for sure. So Stu, we're going to have you as a speaker at the event in November. Tell me this, someone who's on the fence. Well, no. I like this question better. What had you excited about? Because you were one of the first guys we reached out to. What had you excited about coming and being a part of our event? Because I'm pretty sure you get asked often to do things. You have to turn stuff down.
Yeah, I don't do them often anymore. For you guys, one thing I'll say is guys that I know in the industry, you guys know what it's like to go to a conference and there's a keynote room where everyone's sitting and you're sitting in a fucking empty hallway where there's nobody at the time and you're not given a spot to speak. I think there's a lot of these conferences that aren't run well for the people that speak or the vendors that support it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, whether it's Matt from Gym Lawyers or LASSO or, SFA, any of the brands that go, sometimes I have conversations and I'm like, man, cause when I did the Self-Made Summit, I only put on one event, right? One time, we had over 100 gyms. The furthest one came from Hong Kong, and everyone who was a vendor and paid whatever was the $3,000, they all got a 45-minute speaking spot, right? And the speaking, my only rule was it can't be a pitch for your thing directly. You have to talk about solving a problem for which your thing would assist in solving the problem. That was my only requirement. And that worked a lot better. I had everyone say, man, I wish more events would do that. So I know you guys have been in that hallway that has no one fucking in it and you paid to be there. And I instantly like, oh, well, they know what that's like. I bet you this event's going to be different because it's being put on by the guys who've had to sit in that empty vendor's hallway. And, and obviously we know we work with a lot of the same people. You don't got to twist my fucking arm to go to Nashville. I lived there before I moved to Charlotte. So I'll go back to Nash Vegas anytime.
Good, man. Well, last thing, if someone lives on the rock, how do they get in contact with you?
So here's what I'd say. There's two kinds of people that attend these things. There are the ones that like going because it signifies to themselves, and others are able to put on Instagram. Like they take a picture of like whatever, like the notebook you give them to take notes or whatever. And it lets people know like I'm an entrepreneur and I've got they take a picture of the fucking card, like the thing that they wear that shows that they're a participant. And it's like, I'm here to grow the whatever. There are those people that participate and it ends there. They observe, they take it down, they take all the notes, and then there's no action. There are people that go and they're literally going, they know I'm spending the money because it is. You got to buy a ticket, you got to get a hotel room, you got to do this. It is a cost. I'm going there and I'm looking to achieve one or two things, or I'm looking to speak to one or two people. I've had people come to me or the other keynote, whoever was speaking, and like, you're the main reason I came. I'd love to get 20 minutes just sitting down talking with you. And when I'm at those events, like that's my favorite part. It's not the one-to-many speaking. It's when afterwards at the social hour and I'm having an old fashioned, someone comes up like, hey man, I've been meaning to ask you a question about this.
Correct. That's how we met.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
How we met the first time at HSN thing. We were at the bowling alley when I was like, man, I know Stu all these years. He used to do that curses online all the time. Then I met you. I was like, I like this guy. I like Stu.
Yeah. So like those, I would say you got to figure out which person, if you're looking to go and take action on something, come to an event, come to this event. If you're looking like it's something like, well, it'll be fun. I get a weekend in Nashville and I've got an old friend from college, like still come to the event. But like, I really like to speak to the people who are going to get the most out of it, which means you're coming there to either engage with a certain person or persons, or you're coming to take away a very specific thing. And whatever that thing is, don't leave until you've got it. So like, let's say you came there and let's say my keynote was X, but then you got there and I really didn't talk about X for whatever reason. Maybe I got off topic or whatever. You don't fucking leave until you've grabbed that person. Trust me, they will speak to you. They will hang. That's why I always had a problem with guys who came in and did a keynote and left afterwards. I thought that was the douchiest fucking thing. I didn't like that. I get you're busy and you're super special, but like that's the most, if you came out here beside, like maybe they got paid or whatever the fuck it was, but it's like, the biggest impact is talking with those people in like either small group roundtables or on one-on-one. So anyway, I'll be around and I'll have conversations with you till we close the bar down, about whatever you want business wise.
No, that's good, man. Thank you. So, if someone wants to get in contact with you right now, with someone here, but I need to talk to this guy right now. How do they get in contact with you?
Yeah. I mean, content wise on the business side, WTF Gym Talk, every handle, website, podcast, all that there. And if you have a commercial real estate specific thing, it's Gym Real Estate on Instagram or gymrealestate.co. Just send me a DM over there. You're going to get an audio message back from me. I audio message every single person that sends us a DM individually myself. And yeah, I'm more than happy to talk shop.
All right. Well, man, thanks for hanging out with us, Stu. We really do appreciate it, man. It's always great.
Absolutely,
and
guys.
Exciting as usual. And guys, as always, tell a friend to tune in, and we will chat with you guys next week.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoyed. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to LASSOframework.com. That's LASSOFRAMEWORK.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.